Welcome to the 15th Floor, a Radiohead reaction podcast where a Gen X father tries to convince his Gen Z son that Radiohead is the greatest band of all time. By introducing him to Radiohead music one song at a time, he'll react for the first time, I'll react and talk about why I think it contributes to the idea that Radiohead is the greatest band of all time. Last time we did a review for the role reversal was the last thing that we posted. So if you haven't watched any of the role reversals, see my reactions to Imagine Dragons songs, that's what that is. The last song we did here was Dex Dark, Alliteration. Today we're going to go to one of my favorite tracks off of probably my favorite album. Boy, it's really hard. I think I've said 3 different albums are my favorite album, but OK Computer from 1997 is really a perfect album, and it came out when I was already absolutely convinced that Radiohead was the greatest band of all time. So when this album came out and it was so perfect, it just I felt like they could do no wrong. I also saw them live several times right around this time. As far as what a listening ear, first time listen might enjoy, I think we're right in the thick of it. 1997's OK Computer. The album is a perfect bridge from the Bends, which is rock heavy, to Kid A, which becomes very experimental and different for Radiohead. And this is a great in between. And this track is a beautiful track. I picked this one because you might know it a lot better than you think you do, or you might just really recognize the very obvious tones from the intro. No Surprises was recommended by Melchior Axax, Stephen Glenn, and Lou Beauchesne. So far, OK Computer, you reacted well to Paranoid Android, definitely reacted well to Karma Police. Initially didn't react terribly well to Let Down, but it came around on the second round. And Electioneering didn't do terribly well with you. Do you know anything else about No Surprises? You ready to listen to it?
Just remember that intro, and yeah, that's all I remember.
All right.
For the most part.
From the beautiful, greatest album of all time, 1997, OK Computer, this is No Surprises.
Exactly at the halfway mark.
Beauty.
I don't really remember it that much. I just remember that guitar, and the chorus kind of was there. Like kind of remember the chorus just a little bit, but for the most part, I don't really remember it. I'm slowly thinking that Radiohead it's like a more depressing version of Keane. But this
Keane is a more uplifted version of Radiohead, as Radiohead came first.
That's true, I guess. Well, the instruments used in this one kind of reminded me of that, and I feel like I'm getting like this. The feeling I have is like, this is something I would listen to on a long car trip, like I do with Keane.
Yeah,
and that's probably because I have listened to this on long car trips before.
Maybe. OK Computer is definitely an album that I would put on if I were driving, if I were taking the night shift on a drive where we were driving someplace long as a family. I would probably put on OK Computer to keep myself awake while everybody else was sleeping. So maybe you've heard it and you just are. You're now remembering it. Beautiful intro. Well done calling it out as a guitar, because people don't want to say that's a guitar. That is a guitar. Ed O'Brien is on a Rickenbacker. He plays the same Rickenbacker in almost every live version of this song. That red Rickenbacker, and it's arpeggioed chords. And I love that little groove he does. It's just so simple. And then he does a little groove at the Bring Down the Government that every time I hear, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I like the way he does that. And don't overlook the bass in this song. This song has already built up some energy, even though you don't feel like it has. Each stanza brings up a little bit more energy. Almost every other line does. And the bass drives a lot of that. And Colin Greenwood... it's subtle, but it's really good. And of course, the maybe hero of this song that you definitely hear, those bells that you hear, that bell sound is a glockenspiel. So and Johnny generally plays a glockenspiel live. So he's got the mallets, and Johnny is playing exactly what Ed is playing on the guitar. So the guitar you hear and the glockenspiel are playing in unison. And generally, Tom York is playing like an acoustic guitar for this song.
A glockenspiel is just like a xylophone, right?
It looks like a xylophone. Yep, it's the double leveled. Sometimes there are recordings of Johnny playing a celesta, which is basically a piano version of a glockenspiel. It's a keyboard where the hammers hit tiles like a xylophone, idiophone tiles or something like that. But this is an example of Radiohead picking very simple melodies, simple arrangement, and making a deep felt song sold by the perfect on the brim of mental collapse lyrics, vocals of Tom York.
This is my final fate, my final bellyache with no alarms and no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, please. Such a pretty house and such a pretty garden, no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, please.
I failed to say that they do get that tone from that guitar because they recorded it at a slightly faster speed and then slowed it down to record Tom's vocals. So you do get a slightly different tone than you're going to get just flat out playing a Rickenbacker guitar.
It's a lot of Radiohead songs that I'd listen to at night driving from a long car ride. Or maybe all those songs were just OK Computer?
Yeah.
Is that OK Computer songs? I don't know. But I don't know. It was nice. The ending was sweet.
The whole song is sweet. The lyrics aren't. It's fairly dark.
Of course, yeah.
But it's often described as a lullaby. No alarms and no surprises. That chorus sounds like something a mother could sweetly sing to her child as she's rocking it. I mean, you can absolutely imagine that. The lyrics are very clearly in your face, anti-government, anti-establishment. But this song is like Hanson's Mbop, about relationships, and there are lots of versions of this song, especially on mini discs hacked, where the lyrics are completely different, and they're more directly about a man failing in life and in his relationships. And you can hear those all over the place. If you look up No Surprises mini discs hacked, you'll hear all of these. Several versions exist, and that's what Tom York presented to the band back in 1995. The story goes that they were touring with, or they were with REM in a dressing room, and he said, "Hey, listen to this," and he played this song with those older lyrics, but they eventually went back to these lyrics. Tom was very pleased with this song because of where he felt on tour at this time, and where he felt when his relationship with Michael Stipe, his friendly relationship. I'm not breaking weird rumors here, and he was very proud of this song. You know that pride persists because No Surprises is still regularly, and I mean regularly, played by Radiohead, where they don't play a lot of OK Computer stuff anymore. It's still part of their encore almost every tour. So if you go to a Radiohead show, even now, chances are you'll get No Surprises in the encore because everybody loves it. It's very moving and very sad. When this song came out, I was working at McDonald's, flipping burgers, and I was singing this song as I was assembling cheeseburgers one night, and this girl just poked her head out from under a table and said, "What are you singing?" And I said, "Oh, that's a song from Radiohead's new album." And she said, "That's the saddest song I've ever heard. Can you stop singing?" and maybe she just didn't like my voice. I don't know, but it was like depressing her. And it's a really fun song to play. It's an F major. Go up to a piano and just play an F chord, and you'll hear No Surprises in that chord. And you can figure out the rest of the song very quickly based on that. I love playing No Surprises on the piano, which is another place you've heard it.
It's tough because it's just a first listen. The people who can like talk forever and ever and how great their first time reaction was, it's like because they know a lot of things about music. This sounds neat. Sometimes I can get the meaning. The instruments are nice. I really like the instruments, but I don't know. Yeah, it was nice. I agreed with you on the lullaby. I was kind of thinking that, like the little, dun, dun, like the guitar and the glockenspiel thing. Like I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like it could be a lullaby.
Yeah. So we're gonna, you won't see this, but we're gonna take a little break, and I'm gonna show Jacob the music video for No Surprises. All right. So it was just a blink of an eye for you, but we stopped and watched the entire video to No Surprises. If you've seen this entire video, No Surprises, you know what we just watched. If you haven't, it's in the description below. That part I can do.
Yep.
What'd you think of that? You were kind of weirded out by it.
There was no point, I think. Like,
it's
he got lucky. It's his like one of the most popular music videos because that would not be worth it.
That is worth it. That's a great performance by Tom. And if you've seen Meeting People Is Easy and you see how frustrated he became, so he's wearing that helmet and there's a rubber stop here, so they fill it up with water, but if he can't breathe, he pulls that out and it lets the water out immediately. And so when they show you the making of this video, he's very frustrated because he can't. I mean, he's trying to hold his breath and he can't do it anymore, and he becomes very frustrated with the whole situation. Kind of it's a small mini metaphor for his frustration at this time with touring and with music in general, with the radio buzzing like a fridge. This is a great song. There's a lot of good things happening in this song. As I said, Colin's bass it shouldn't be overlooked. Ed O'Brien's vocals, his backup vocals, are so good. They just don't, from the Jules Holland live version to Glastonbury to any version you want to watch, they haven't changed the recipe much for this song because it's Tom York describes it as theatrics. This song you're playing a pretty song and you have to get the emotion of the darkness out as well, and I think they do a good job of that. I don't think anybody could hear the song, and I'm not trying to influence your score. I don't think anybody could hear this song and say, I mean, it's fine. You know, I mean, there's something immediately at least bearable about it. Not bearable, good about it. And I love that. It just crescendos without getting loud to that final such a pretty house and such a pretty garden. One of those couplet lines that just fits so well. Really good song. How good? I don't know. Let's ask Jacob. On a scale of 0 to 10, first time hearing No Surprises. Maybe first time. Your first time really, I mean, you've heard parts of it you recall, but you don't remember.
First time I paid attention.
First time I paid attention, what would you give No Surprises?
7. I like the instrument stuff, and like, I don't know, it's a sweet, it's not meaningful, like not the lyrics, but like I feel like it's just a nice sweet song. I didn't really I guess I connected with it when I said I would listen to it like on a night drive. I don't know. I know you said you don't want to hear me say it's fine. Like a 5 is it's fine, but like I don't know, it was good. It was
7 is becoming your. I think that's a good song.
Yep.
If you don't think it was anything better than, I mean, that was good. That was a really good song. I like that. Then it gets a 7.
Yeah.
Things below a 7, you tend to be like, yeah, there was an aspect of it I didn't really like, long outro or annoying voice or something like that.
Yeah.
So 7's kind of the thing you've been. That's your middle of the road, and then your middle of the road comment is, I could listen to it on a long drive. Yep. Which is, that's how Radiohead comes across. Pink Floyd's very much like that. Love Pink Floyd. Maybe second greatest band of all time. Boy, that's tough. They're great for long drives. Another band that I regularly used to put on while I took the night shift driving while you kids were back in the back asleep, and mom asleep in the passenger seat. Now that I'm getting older and my vision is bad, she doesn't usually sleep anymore while I drive because it could mean her death. So my younger kids draw pictures. They also hear the song for the first time, and they draw a picture based on their inspiration from the song. They're younger, so generally it's not really deep stuff. But who are you to say? So his picture is a picture of a boy and a mom, and the mom says, "No surprises." Now, interesting choice. Do you see in the light pencil what looks like a lot of suns on the corners?
It's got the suns.
Those aren't suns. Those are like metal rivets. And he didn't use that word. He just said they're the metal nails that hold this picture, which is made of metal, up. So I don't know. Obviously made out of paper. But he envisions this piece of art on a piece of metal instead, with metal rivets holding it up. So look into that what you will. No surprises, actually. So her picture is a girl holding a package. She says, "No surprises." And the more possessed girl on the right, or possessed-looking girl, says, "Why am I not surprised?" So they really just ran with the surprises. That's okay, because maybe they don't have that sense of useless interactions with their fellow human beings, with their government, with themselves. And that is what No Surprises is. It's the fear, the explanation of failure with yourself, with your relationships, and with the people, with the government around you. Government's not the right word. With civilization. From Dex Dark, here's a comment that I'll read from that video by Jonas Wendon, a regular commenter and listener. Thanks for being a regular commenter. Lure him in with some poppy songs like Bones, Nice Dream, Sulk, Airbag, No Surprises, I Promise. Eventually he'll get it. I'm still waiting for the Daily Mail because it's so weird and bluesy and groovy and badass. That. Bones, Nice Dream, and Sulk are all off of the Bends. And we need to get more to the Bends, get back to the Bends. Both I Promise and the Daily Mail are B-sides from that same era. And Airbag is the lead track of OK Computer. And really maybe one of the best lead tracks on any album of all time. Because the idea is you can go anywhere in the library and still convince someone that Radiohead is the greatest band of all time. We jump around. We jump around to challenge Radiohead to your tastes. And I think there's easier ways to do it. And we talk about this all the time. But I get that sentiment a lot. Sometimes I go back and forth between what songs hit well with me right off the bat versus what songs kind of came on strong later. And some of the songs that came on strong later, you've responded well to. Sulk was one of my favorites off of the Bends. I'm excited to get back to the Bends and explain to you guys why I think that album is even though it's regularly rated in the top 5 albums of the 90s, it still, I think, is an underrated album because I think it belongs right up there with OK Computer in a 1-2 interchangeable punch. The Daily Mail, that's another thing. I know you have requested, Jonas Wendon, and many other people have requested the Daily Mail. We do need to get some of the other kind of challenge your musical tastes. Maybe one of the more simple, easier ones to start with there is the National Anthem. But I think we're going to go back in time and maybe go a little further. If I go back to the Bends next video, I know that's just in the same era we already are in. But let's go back to the Bends. What do you guys suggest for our upcoming next time we do a video? We'll go to the Bends. And maybe leave some suggestions. It's time to go back to... I'm jonesing to hear more The Smile. So what we did Panavision. So what should we do next from The Smile? Give us a suggestion from each of those, and that would be great. Keep leaving nice comments. Keep doing all the good things you guys are doing. Keep being positive in the world. Continue to love one another. Keep listening to music together. You're now leaving
The 15th floor.